I don't have to tell you things are bad. Everybody knows things are bad. The dollar buys a nickel's worth. Banks are going bust. Shopkeepers keep a gun under the counter. Punks are running wild in the street, and there's nobody anywhere who seems to know what to do, and there's no end to it. We know the air is unfit to breathe, and our food is unfit to eat. We sit watching our TVs while some local newscaster tells us that today we had 15 homicides and 63 violent crimes, as if that's the way it's supposed to be. We know things are bad, worse than bad. They're crazy. It's like everything everywhere is going crazy, so we don't go out anymore. We sit in the house, and slowly the world we're living in is getting smaller, and all we say is, please, at least leave us alone in our living rooms. Let me have my toaster and my TV and my steel-belted radios, and I won't say anything. Just leave us alone. Well, I'm not going to leave you alone. I want you to get mad. I don't want you to protest. I don't want you to riot. I don't want you to write to your congressman because I wouldn't know what to tell you to write. I don't know what to do about the depression and the inflation and the Russians and the crime in the street. All I know is that first, you've got to get mad.
The history of communication dates back to the earliest science of life. Evolution of the brain distinguished humans from animals. And among other things, the brain allowed humans to master a very efficient form of communication, speech. Speech facilitated the transmission of information and knowledge to the younger generations. This information became increasingly rich and allowed humans to work and advance together with less difficulty than previously possible.
Let's go out and I can be saved. Tides that I tried to swim against put me down.
The imperfections and limitations of speech eventually resulted in the development of new forms of communication and the introduction of mass media such as the newspaper.
Over time, media outlets have evolved through technology, from library books to television sitcoms, video games, and most recently, the World Wide Web. The amount of information being streamed into our homes and classrooms is endless. It is now up to us to filter through the negativity and use the media to gain knowledge of substance.
Throughout history, social engineers have refined techniques designed to control large populations.
I'm sad because I see all of that in a flash in my mind as being an indication of how easy it is for the masses to be manipulated.
Advertising reveals a pattern that encourages unhealthy portrayals of young women. As a result, young ladies set aside their health in order to copy the media's perception of beauty. To be clear about what the media does, we should understand that they do care about which commercials are to be shown and which are not to be shown. They purposely show certain types of commercials to sell their product. The Dove Onslaught campaign speaks positively on real beauty by letting the people know that beauty can be seen in a person naturally without makeup or surgery.
Sometimes we lose ourselves in the media because it's attractive, but attractive doesn't mean that it's truthful. So somehow I have to find a measure of the words of the media inside myself. So I need to look at my life and look more closely, be closer to my own life to see what kinds of influences are coming into me. You know, how does this match? How does this measure up in my estimation of what is a real life and what is called for to live a real life?
God.